Hey everybody, it's David in France, and today we're going crayfishing. So I've got 6 of these traps. So these are just really cheap traps. You can pick them up for like $6 or $7. And you know, if anyone's got a nicer trap out there, I'd be more than happy to try one out. But I get these because I can just get them at the local store. A couple things about crayfishing. Number one is bait. There are a lot of different opinions about bait, whether you should use, you know, rotten fish or hot dogs or whatever. The number one thing, the thing that I've always found works better than anything else, is fresh local fish, which means that I get some bluegills. We have a pond here that's just full of bluegills. I get some bluegills, I cut them in half, and I put a half a bluegill in. I've found that if you put a whole fish in, it's harder for the crayfish to get to the meat inside the fish, but if you cut it in half, it's like an already injured fish. The crayfish get in there, they love it, they tear it up. And then this is a great spot. You can see the water behind me is flowing. It's nice and calm. There's some ripples down here. There's some ripples up there. And right here is a nice, slow, calm area. There's this tree growing kind of over the creek, which provides a lot of hiding places for the crayfish. So this is a place where there are going to be a lot of crayfish. So that's trap number one. Let's go set the 5 other traps. You'll see I tied it off. There's a string on the end of the trap. I just tied it off on a branch so that I can get to it easily tomorrow morning when I check it. So that's trap number 1. We got 5 more to set, so let's go find 5 other good spots for crayfish traps. So here's spot number 2. Again, we've got some ripples right under this bridge. Some ripples right past that tree over the creek. And right here, if you can see underwater, there's some stone that kind of makes a whole bunch of little hiding places. There's some shade under here, some limbs under the water. All that is great hiding spaces for these crayfish. So we're going to set this trap in the water here. And I'm just going to tie it off to this limb. And we're off to trap number 3. So here's a good spot. You can see there's this kind of cut into the bank where we've got some real stable water there. Some real still water. And some good hiding places in the mud under there. Trap number 3. Let's go set trap number 4. Here's spot number 4. We got some ripples down there. And then this is a nice, deep, slow moving spot of water. And also you can see that tree, another tree that's kind of growing over the creek. So it's got a whole lot of hiding places, nice deep water, a whole lot of hiding places for those crayfish. So I've had great luck and terrible luck here. Because as you can see, there's a lot of trees and stuff, so I think there are a lot of crayfish in here, but depending on where you put it, you might have good luck or bad luck. But anyways, this is trap number 5. Alright, let's set the last trap. This is probably the shallowest place. I put it under the, you can see that nice big rock with some space under it under the water. So this should be a good spot. Trying to tie these knots with one hand. So there you have it. I've set my 6 traps. We'll come back. I like to come back real early in the morning, like first thing in the morning, because I find that once day comes, the crayfish start to look for a way out because they want to go hide. They don't like being exposed during the day. So anyways, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Good morning, everybody. So it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. I would have liked to get out here a little bit early. I like to usually do this right at sunrise. Because I find that once day comes, the crayfish really start to try to get out of the traps. So, but anyways, it's not too late. I'm going to go check the traps now. So here's trap number 1. Let's go see if we got anything in it. So we got 6 nice big crayfish in here. I was gonna throw this one back in the trap back in the water, but these guys have just ravaged this bait. So there are a lot of different types of crayfish. Let me see if I can find a better specimen. So there are a lot of different types of crayfish. And I'll stand corrected if somebody knows better than me. But as far as I can tell, this is called a virile crayfish. There's a couple things that give it away. These claws, they get kind of a bluish hue. And they have these yellow dots all along them. and they'll have they can have kind of a reddish tip to the claw, and then on the back they're kind of brownish, and they have this saddle. They'll call this a saddle. This brown, this part right here, this brown part right here. Anyways, let's do this and go check our other traps. I'll just show you. So I put a half a fish in here as bait, and this is what they left on it. They just tear this thing up. They just tear this bait up. That's what I was saying earlier, they love fresh bait. All right, here's spot number 2. Let's see what we got. I see something in there. I got at least 2 in there. I don't know if you can see it underwater. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there. Anyways, at least maybe 6. There might be a 6th one in there. There's trap number 3. If I don't fall in the water. Ah. This one is, I think, probably the deepest trap that I set. Probably 3 feet underwater. So right off the bat I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we've got 5 in here. Put them in the bucket. So I just came down here to check this trap. And there are bullfrogs around here. Might have to come down here and catch some frogs. And here we go. Let's check our last trap. We got, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 in here. One's really small. I'm gonna let him go. Actually, he's not too small. It's actually illegal, in theory. It's illegal to release live viral crayfish. They're considered an invasive species, so if you catch them, you're supposed to kill them. So there we go. There we go. We got 24 of them in there. Let's go back up to the house. Alright, so now this is the meat we got, so we're going to make some crayfish rolls. We don't have a whole lot of meat and there's a bunch of us, so we're just going to make some sliders. So I'm just going to take these buns, I'm just going to stick them in the oven for a minute while we're mixing up. Our rolls. So on this, all we're going to do is put about a tablespoon of mayonnaise. A little bit of parsley. What everybody's got to have in Maryland, some Old Bay. A little bit of lemon juice. And that's it. Just gonna mix this up. Got a little bit of melted butter. Take our rolls out. Should be nice and warm. A little bit of this. Just divvy this up on your buns.
So you have 25 crayfish?
24.
24 crayfish. How many sliders?
5.
5 sliders.
I want to make sure everyone gets, there's some for everybody. It'd probably be better with a little bit more crayfish, but these will be good anyways. Boom. So the last thing we're going to do, just take some of this butter and brush it across the top of these buns. There we go. Some crayfish, some Maryland fished, wild caught crayfish sliders.